Good morning or good evening, wherever you are around this beautiful nation or traveling across this gorgeous globe. Thank you for joining me. My deepest gratitude to everyone that tunes in. Welcome into my space. So, today we're going to talk about just lots of stuff, okay? Um, I'm gonna, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna start with the epiphany that I had actually, because I've been channeling for years. I've been automatic writing for years, decades. When I say years, I mean decades. Um, I've always known that I needed to tell you, right? And then there was that business of being camera shy and not wanting to do videos, particularly, um, just because of my own Cancerian nature. I wanted to go hide in my shell, rethink this. And so then, I mustered up the strength and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can get on video. I can get it on podcasts. I can do this. But then I was overthinking everything because I was thinking with this media personality expectation type mindset for the audience, right? I'm like, it's all got to be in perfect order and it has to be this and it has to be that, or they're not going to listen to the message, or it's not going to be interesting enough, or whatever. And I had an epiphany that perhaps this was ego getting in my way, and yours. Um, because, yeah, I've decided that the best way to capture an audience's attention is to just be myself, you know, which is easier for me anyway. It's easy for me to be me. It was a hard journey to get here, which makes me the teacher now to show you how to be yourself. But it's about remembering to practice what I preach and get out of my own way and work smarter, not harder. Because honestly, everything that I was trying to do to get these videos in some sense of order, for lack of a better way to explain it to you, because I'm very OCD in my mind about things. I was like, I had too much control, right? My crabby cancer claws had a hold of it and didn't want to let go. And I mean, it's my baby, it's my passion, it's my mission, right? So obviously, I want to get it out to you. But I thought I had to do it like in a certain way. And then I realized that the right way, the real certain way, which makes it certain, is to just be me, right? Because, I mean, nobody else is going to do that for me. I have to be me. And I have to show you who I am in order for you to want to listen. So I'm just going to be me. And I'm not perfect. So buckle up, Buttercup. Because I'm from the South and we let our mouth fly. We don't control it. Um, and I'm proud of that. So this is going to be our coffee talk segment where we wake up to the realization of who we are, how we got here, and what we can do to go forward. Um, I've been going through a lot of my notes lately. I've been moving things around, unpacking boxes that I forgot I even had packed, and finding lots of old channeled messages, um, a lot of which I channeled when I was on my own spiritual journey of awakening to get to where I am now. And it's so great to find those notes and look at them again to, not only see where you've come from and how far you've come, but oftentimes also to remind you of what you already knew, but you just forgot that you knew it. Because let's face it, if we don't use it, we lose it, right? And in this day and age, this particular moment in time in our modern world, um, you're walking with your foot in both worlds, one foot in each world when you're awakening, when you're becoming aware, when you're becoming more conscious of your actions, your thoughts, your deeds. And it's a really intricate balance that even I still, on a daily basis, have to remind myself to keep balanced. You know, it's easy to get lost in the chaos. It's hard to remain true to yourself. But once you finally start getting in the rhythm of doing that, get in a habit of doing that, and you can truly honor yourself and honor your truths and embrace who you are and honor that, it becomes easier and it becomes, a habit. So, um, practice makes perfect, right? And even I still need to practice. Hell, even when it comes to like the home remedies, the homeopathic, holistic, naturalistic, whatever you want to call it, um, ways to do things, which is how we live in my household. We don't generally go to any type of physician or even to the stores for on the shelf over the counter medicines because I make a lot of my own. I wild crap them, and so that's what my children and I will take when we're sick. Because I feel like uh, God gave us everything that we need. We just have to be smart enough to know what they're for, right? Um, so I generally don't go to doctors and stuff. And I mean, like everybody in my family that outside my home, and all of my friends, and even acquaintances that are just on my circuit, colleagues, they'll call me up, they'll text me, they'll, email me, whatever, and they'll ask me, Kelly, what's this good for? Kelly, what's good for this? And blah, 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 and I'll help them out and give them great advice. Absolutely great advice that I don't take for my own damn self. Like when I'm sick, I suffer through it until I'm strong enough to use my own energy and willpower to heal me rather than even using the holistic medicines. I don't remember the simplest things. I recently just got over a really, really bad sinus and upper respiratory infection that was in my chest and everything from mold, from being around some mold. Excuse me. And, I was sick, really sick. For like 3 or 4 days, I was really, really sick. And then it finally hit me. Okay, crazy. Why are you not pulling out the medicine cabinet of everything you have in there and finding what you need, right? And so it was like day 3 or day 4 that I finally went in there and started digging through my stuff. I say digging, it's all very well organized because I'm OCD. Don't let me fool you with my expressions that I use. It's very well organized. And I even roll my eyes at myself. But I started digging out medicine and, finally got better. Um, but I'm forgetful that way because I'm not trying to sound egotistical by saying this, but I'm pretty much selfless, right? Like everybody else is my focus. My kids' well being, my mom's well being, my brother, whatever, like my friends, they're my focus. So um, I don't think about myself in that way. I mean, I think about myself like, I work very hard every day. I have got a lot of irons in the fire, you know. Um, I have 3 jobs, sometimes 4, plus I homeschool, that's a job. Plus I'm a mother, that's a job. Plus somebody has to do the laundry, wash the dishes, cook the food, uh, mend the boo-boos, the whole deal. And so I have a lot of irons in my fire. I wear a lot of hats in one day, which a lot of people do. A lot of mothers do this. A lot of fathers do this. A lot of single people with no children do this. It's nothing new. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. My point here is we get caught up in our day and we forget about ourselves. And oh, that's what I was going to say. In a day's time, I do so many things, and I'm up till very wee hour of the morning, schedule. But I do take breaks through the day and say to myself, okay, it's break time. Go take a break. Go get some downtime. Go meditate. Go lay in the tanny bed and hum or chant, which I love to do because the tanny bed makes my bones feel so good, especially when it's 29 freaking degrees outside. I'm not a fan of winter. So, I do very well at that type of self care, self love, and self discipline, um, balance, work, home life, me time balance. But when it comes to me getting sick, not so much. Like, I don't even know why. It's just, I don't even, the thought never even enters my brain that, oh, you have mullein for that chest congestion, or oh, you have echinacea or elderberry or zinc, or take some vitamin C today or whatever. Like, I don't even think about those kind of things for myself. But everybody else that I know that's sick, I'm like calling them on a daily basis. Did you take your vitamin C today? Did you take your vitamin D? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like, I'm very mother hen to my people, you know, and I don't mother hen myself, um, which is something I'm working on because we're all a work in progress, right? And I don't want anybody to ever misconstrue that just because I have wisdom and I have knowledge and I have lots of things to say to share with you so that you can grow does not mean in any way, shape, or form that I know everything, that I have it all figured out, that I'm perfect, or that my life is even perfect. Because I promise there are things in my life that are not perfect. You know, there are things that you cannot control in your own personal life because it's other people, and their odds of probability, their free will, all of those things are at play with your own life. So the best thing you can do really is just to balance that out best you can, not have expectations of people. I mean, sure, hope for the best on things, but let it go at that. Don't have those expectations because that's how you get let down. That's how you get your feelings hurt. That's really how you get mad at people, honestly, is if you expected something else from them. Now, with that being said, yes, you most certainly should weigh those scales between you and other people. And if they are not giving back to you what you feel is reasonable compared to what you give to them, then in that essence, they don't deserve your energy. Okay? Because in that essence, it should be a balance. It should be a free flow. It should be the, you know, nice give and take happening there. And if it's not, then you're wasting your energy on something else. And again, this is your gauge of where that should be with other people, right? But a lot of times, let me just grab a sip. A lot of times, our gauges of how much we'll tolerate from others is lowering our clear boundaries for self love, even within ourselves. Because if we're not honoring our feelings about something, then we're lowering it, lowering it, lowering it. But if you're honoring it, then you're bringing it up here. And so they have to put their bar in a different spot once you start really loving yourself. And look, none of you are really going to love yourself the way that I know that you can until you really learn who you are. And that's a fact. Because you're thinking right now that all of this self-love talk that I've been doing is about is just about self-esteem and self-talk. Excuse me. And it isn't just about those things. That's the foundation. And if you don't have a strong foundation, you can't build a strong building. Sorry about that. I was about to have a coughing fit. So, you want to be careful about how you talk to yourself and treat yourself and how you allow others to talk to you and treat you so that you have that strong foundation for your building. Okay? Now, I'm going to go through some of these notes that I have found and other notes that I've written recently. Now I have hiccups. What the crap? Um, it's always something, right? But I'm going to go through these channeled messages that I've been writing down lately. Channeled messages I've written, gosh, I don't even know, 20, 25 years ago from my very old coffee cup journal, my very first journal. That has a lot of stuff in it from my book. That my book is getting. And yeah, we're just going to do some philosophical talk, philosophical thinking, random thoughts. It's not going to be organized. It's not. Because that's the part of me that isn't OCD. It's the way that I channel and write. I let that stuff just happen. Free flow. I just let it flow out of me. And I'm going to show you examples of how it'll, like, one thing will pop out and then another thing will pop out. And they have nothing to damn do with each other, really, except that it's about growth. It's about consciousness. It's about becoming more aware. Okay? So, I hope you enjoy what you hear and stick around and stick with me. So, I'm going to start with what is fear? What is fear? F, false. E, experience. A, appearing. And R, real. False experience appearing real. That's what fear is. That's simple. That's what fear is. So if you can replace in your mind this negative talk, this negative thought of an outcome with something more positive, something happier, a better outcome, then you remove fear and you walk in faith. When you walk in faith, you have this inner knowing and this inner joy, this inner confidence that it's all going to work out for your best good. And that whatever is playing out in front of you is not how it always seems. You know, things can look like one thing, things can sound like one thing, and really be another. So just pause, check yourself, and breathe, and then walk in faith instead of fear. Another random little thought or channeling, rather, that I got was to learn how to be your own person. Your own person. Don't try to transform who you are to fit better with someone else. Honor yourself. Be your own person. You've heard this saying before, right? You've also heard people say, he's my person or she's my person. Be your own person. Be your own person first. Figure out who you are. Figure out what your love language is. Figure out what your shadow side is. Those things that you don't necessarily like about yourself. Take a look at them. Some of them are worth keeping. Other things are worth modifying or allowing to grow in progress. And then love all of you, the good and the bad. Because the bad qualities have their place and their time. Okay? Um, Here's another random one. Why is it necessary to be physically fit? Hmm. Let's think about that. Yes, of course, the health benefits of it. You know, you want a healthy heart, healthy lungs, healthy muscles, healthy whatever. Of course, you want to be healthy. We all do. But being physically fit sounds like such a burden, right? That lazy brain kicks in and you're like, oh God, that means I gotta eat real strict. I gotta exercise X amount of times and do this and that, whatever. And no, it doesn't mean anything that you're not comfortable doing or that you can't physically do or that you don't enjoy. Because even being physically fit should be part of your lifestyle, something that you enjoy. So if you aren't the type of person that likes to do aerobics or lift weights, that's not the type of getting physically fit you need to be doing. If you're a walker, go walk. If you're not so much, find something else. Me personally, I don't like routines. I don't like regimens. I don't like schedules. I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal. I act more from emotion than analytical, logical planner brain. So my exercises throughout the day are literally incorporated into things that I'm doing. If I'm walking down my hallway, I may walk really crazy and silly and tighten up all my muscles while I'm doing it so that I'm moving and flexing and doing things, right? When I'm washing the laundry, I'm doing squats. As I'm picking things up and putting them in the dryer, I'm doing the squats, you know? Um, if I'm just sitting here in my chair, I'll just turn around and do, leg lifts while I'm listening to videos or whatever. I mean, and I am physically fit. I've had 7 children, and I'm a size 5, and I'm very proud of that. And it's not because I don't eat, and it's not, you know, because I'm a crazy health nut. I don't eat like super healthy food all the damn time. I'm not like an exercise maniac. I'm not doing that all the damn time. I mean, sure, I have workout stuff, but it collects more dust than it gets any kind of action. So it's not really getting used. My money just got wasted buying it, because it was a nice thought. Um, because I don't really use it. And it wasn't until, and I really need to just get rid of things like that, honestly, because it wasn't until I started really evaluating me and who I am that I understood, okay, this is not my forte. I'm not an exercise person in that way. I'm not a walker, especially in the damn wintertime and the rain. I mean, God love all of you that are walkers and joggers and runners that get out there in any kind of weather and just do that shit because I'm not going to be that kind of dedicated. I'm not. And I'm just being real with myself and you. Be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And that's not something I'm going to do. I don't like to be in the rain to do work. Like if I'm going out in the rain to play, that's one thing. Because I love to play and frolic and dance in the rain with my kids. We have a blast doing that. But to get out there and walk down my road and back, nah, no thanks. I'll sit in the house and watch it rain. And I'm not going to get out there in the cold either because I freaking hate being cold. I mean, like, that's the thing on the top of my list that I do not like the most out of any kind of physical sense or aspect that we could experience. I despise being cold. It physically makes my body hurt. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I was raised in the South where it's warm, and even in the winter when we had snow on the ground, you weren't freezing your ass off. Now I'm in the Ohio River Valley. Everything's cold. I get cold in summertime. If the wind blows in the summertime and I'm outside, I could get chilled. I could get cold because that's just who I am. You know, it's just who I am. My normal body temperature is usually around 94, 95 degrees. So I get cold easy. Plus, I'm a little thing, 5'4", for a size 5. So I get cold easy. I ain't got a lot of meat on my bones. Right now, I'm having a hot flash, so I'm fixing to take this off. Because if I don't, I'm going to pass the F right out. I ain't even kidding you. Because that's another thing. See, we got to be real about stuff. I'm going through menopause, and I get hot flashes. So that's something I just have to work with. And y'all are just going to have to know. Because I'm being real. I'm being very candid. All right, is there anything else on this paper I need to look at? I don't think so. Oh, well, back to the be your own person thing. I also want to add to that, don't, to understand that runner chaser thing like the twin flames tend to do, don't be codependent and don't need other people to be codependent of you, to be needy to you or with you. We need to deal with whatever issues, and usually they are childhood issues, um, that stems from, so that we can have healthy relationships with people. And really think about your love language. And people throw this word around loosely like they do everything else. Um, but your true love language is really about you asking yourself, what am I willing to compromise on? And what do I really need from a partner? Like what is like I can't give on, right? Look at those things. What can I really just not give on? And what can I give on? What can I be more flexible on? Where can I kind of say, okay, I don't really have to have these things, that because that's ego, right? And this is about looking at your ego, not that bend to fit with somebody else thing in a codependent type of way, in an unhealthy way, right? Because there's always two sides to every coin. So it's that balance between the two. Don't allow their ego to overpower your identity, but also don't let your ego overpower your true needs in a partner. Because if you do, then you're never going to really have a partner. I mean, you may have partners, but you're never going to be happy, and they're never going to be happy. There's always going to be conflict. And relationships are really one of the things that I have dissected and researched and studied the most out of all of um, the human psychology and behavior. Um, because I have 5 marriages under my belt. And a lot of people, even myself for a while, put huge emphasis on the word marriage in that sentence, right? But there's other people that maybe have never been married or been married only once. But how many serious relationships have they been in their life? Okay, yeah, they didn't go say the I do's, but they were still in those serious relationships that we all learn from, you know. And I used to joke and say I'm a bad picker, um, but it's really much deeper than that because um, honestly, I kind of wasn't picking all that much to begin with. I really wasn't picking. I was taking whoever or whatever looked like they could love me, right? But none of them could really love me. There's a catch to this for several reasons. One, I didn't truly love myself because I wasn't accepting who I am. I was trying to hide who I am, right? For fear. I was raised to, within my walls of my home, embrace who I am. But when you step outside that door, you put the shield on, you put the cloak on. You don't tell people who you are because they won't understand or they're going to want to take you away and research you. So, kind of heavy stuff for a little kid to deal with. And it spilled over into my relationships in my adult life. You know, and then, I got to where as I grew and as I changed, um, other relationships that I was in later on, I was just blurted all out right away. Just, this is who I am, blah, 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 and just throw it all out there and just completely overwhelm them or convince them that I'm crazy, right? So, uh, you have to learn to pace yourself and embrace yourself. That should be a thing. We should have a coffee cup that says pace yourself and embrace yourself. Yeah, that should be a thing. But so yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons from relationships, and it's kind of my forte. If anybody needs some help, I'm there for you because I'm pretty well versed in looking at both sides of it and calling it like I see it, and really, giving yourself tough love and giving the other person some tough love to where you can find that balance between the two, or hashtag walk away if that's what's necessary. Okay, so moving on. Um, okay, yeah, all this next part is about words and matter and energy. So the emotion is energy. Okay, it's currency, right? It's currency. It's energy. Okay, let's think about words. Now, when we say currency, we're thinking about the dollars, right? The money, the coin. Or we're thinking about electricity, currents that run through your house. You have currents in you. I have currents in me. We read those currents that we exchange that are constantly moving out of us, in and out, in and out, in and out. Data transmission and reception is always happening. So that's a currency. Okay, you expend your energy to things you do, to people you are in service to, you know. So the emotion is an energy that you put out, and it's picked up by default from the universe, right? The World Wide Web that's literally all around us that we don't see. It's picked up by default and read into the program, right? The program. Its algorithm then tells it what you want more of. So this is the reason that you should mind your thoughts or mine your thoughts. M-I-N-E. Mine them. Sift through them. Sane them. Right? Mine your thoughts. Because if you're speaking badly to yourself, I can't do that, I don't deserve that, oh, this is probably what's going to happen because it's me. The universe is picking that up, man. And that's what you're going to get more of. You already sealed your fate. People are not getting this. Your freaking thoughts are sealing your fate. Okay? Yes, there are outside influences, there are outside forces at play that affect your life every single day. People are born, people die, things happen that you cannot control. The way you speak to yourself about those events, that you can control. You can control that. You can flip that perspective. And I know there's people watching this right now that are saying, okay, I've just lost someone. How do I flip that perspective? First of all, that person is no longer suffering. And yes, we all suffer. We all suffer in some way, shape, or form on this planet. There's not a single soul on this planet that is unscathed or unjaded. So we all suffer in some way, shape, or form. So number one, they're physically not suffering anymore. They're in a better place, right? They're in the ethereal plane, heaven, whatever you want to call it. They can still come to visit you. They can still communicate with you if you're open to it. If you're open. If not, fine. That's your choice. But they are here around you. They're not like gone. They're just physically gone. But in your physical world, they can still interact with you and do things. Like knock your glasses off of the table, or leave a penny, turn on the radio, turn on the TV, whatever. They can communicate with you, okay? And they know when you're thinking about them, and they know that you love them. And I promise you, they do not want you suffering. They don't like seeing you suffer. And they're trying to reach you to let you know that they're okay, so that you will stop the mourning, stop the suffering. Because what is the mourning process really? If we're speaking from a tough love, higher perspective, higher self way of speaking, the act of mourning is your sadness, your grief, your feeling of a loss, right? It's your ego. I wish this, I wish that. What if this? What if that? It's ego. Okay? So you're the one deciding how long to mourn. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong on any length of time. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to help you shift your perspective to a place of healing when it comes to things like that. Okay, because we've all lost people. I've lost people that I love very dearly as well. You know, we all go through that. And we all grieve differently, and we all grieve for different lengths of time, just like we all learn differently. And it all takes us different lengths of time to learn things, right? Some of us have to learn 5 or 6, 10, 15, 30, 100 times before we get it. And there's no right or wrong with that. That's just who you are until you're ready to shift your perspective, shift your awareness and your consciousness, your point of understanding, your point of view, right? But what's above is so below. That's a fact. So the emotion, the energy that you put out is picked up by a default, read into the program, and then fed back to you through an algorithm that mathematically has been deduced that this is what you want more of. So it's weighing those emotions. What are the majority? How many are the majority counting votes for this? And how much is the majority counting the votes for that? Um, your thoughts, your emotional energy is a signal that you're putting out. It's a signal you're transmitting. Your thoughts are a signal that are faster than the speed of light. Okay? So that's why we need to mine our thoughts before we project them. All right, because you're relaying them out there to the universal quantum computer that is then, entering the data, calculating the math, and sending you back more of what it thinks you want. Because it's a default system that its sole purpose, its sole job, SOLE, sole purpose, is to simply give you more of what you are attracting. It does not know right or wrong. It does not know black or white. It is neutral. It is Switzerland. It is the gray area between the lines. Okay? So what's above is so below. In your thoughts is the above. Below is the physical form, the physical material world, the matter that is being created from the thoughts, from the ethereal. Same thing on the macrocosm here. The universal knowledge that's being obtained, collected from the collective is the above. And then we are here on the earth plane in the 3D realm. That's the below, right? Material form, matter. Okay? So words matter, thought matters. Um, this is actually like a hermetic knowledge, or the Kabbalion. The Masons knew it, know it. It's esoteric and Gnostic teachings. Jesus knew it, Abraham knew it, Buddha knew it, um, Abraham Hicks knows it. Greg Braden knows it. Lots of people know it. Eckhart Tolle, you know, um, Deepak Chopra. Lots of people know it. It's backed by scientific facts. Nassim Haramein is very good at proving this scientifically. And he started out, much like Einstein, started out as a small boy contemplating life, much like me, contemplating life and wanting to understand how it works, why it works, and why isn't it working in the right way? Like, everybody knows what the right way is. It's not energetically balanced with us, the way that life is, the way that society is, the way that people interact with each other. And, you know, Nassim knew that. And so he set out on a quest, and many people thought that he wasn't very intelligent. They thought he had learning disabilities, again, just like Einstein and myself, because, I was dyslexic and ADHD as a child. Um, and he now is proving scientifically through physics, through new physics, new quantum physics, uh, just exactly how it all works. So it's being backed by science, and it's been tested and proven in many areas, including in my own 6 degrees, right? I personally, in my own little world, have tested it and proven it for myself to know that it's worthy of teaching to you. Because again, I'm very OCD about things like that. I don't like to open my mouth unless I know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't like to feel stupid. Um, and yeah, that's something that I also brought from childhood that now I honor, but before it made me feel not enough. I'm blonde. I'm a girl. So plenty of blonde jokes, plenty of girl jokes. Plenty of people don't take women seriously, or little girls when they have insightful, intelligent things to say. And so it was like a mission in my life to be as intelligent as I possibly could in every single aspect that I possibly could. I can even work on cars, you know. I can do plumbing, I can sweat pipes, I can do all kinds of things because I set out on this mission to prove myself because other people made me feel like I wasn't enough. And now I'm at this point where, I know my worth and all that. And so I need to teach it to you. I intricately understand all of this on such a maybe deeper level than anybody's dared to go with it. And I've tested it so hard to make sure that it was right. Because I like to be good at things I do. Actually, I used to joke and say I don't do things unless I can do them well, which is true. Um, but before, I would just give up and not do those things. Now, it's a goal. It's a competition with myself. It's healthy competition. And I want to teach that to you. I want to teach you healthy competition. I want to teach you healthy pride. I want to teach you healthy ego. Because all of those aspects of the self are necessary. We're just using them from the wrong side of the coin. It's not that they're bad, 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 and we need to push them away and ignore them. We need to embrace them, incorporate them into who we are. Pride is necessary because if you're not proud of what you do, why strive to be anything? You know? What's the point if you can't be proud of it? But there's honor in genuine pride because genuine pride, you put the blood, sweat, and tears into it, and you know the work that you did, and so then you know your worth. And that's that key component that we lost because they taught us pride is selfish. Loving yourself is selfish. But selfishness is necessary as long as it comes from a place of the heart, not of the ego, logical mind. You see? I hope you're keeping up with me here. If you're not, feel free to put a comment in the box below. I love to talk to people. I'm a talker. Okay, so if we can mind our thoughts, we literally can eliminate all bad relationships from ever happening again. We can eliminate all bad luck from ever happening again. We can eliminate ever having a bad job again or bad financial situations. If you change your mind, you truly do change your life. You truly do. That's a true story. I am living, breathing, walking, biological proof of it. Many people on this planet are. And they're all trying to tell you the same message that I'm telling you, but people aren't getting it. Because I'm not just a self-help book. Okay? That's not what I'm doing this for. I'm not doing this for no self-help book or to get famous and make a lot of money from doing talk shows or whatever. I am legitimately trying to hit it home with you, bat 1,000 with you, that this for real can change your life. And the reason I want it to change your life is because I have seen the misery. I have seen the suffering. I have seen the sadness that we all experience. I'm not alone in that. You're not alone in that. We are in the collective of experiencing that. And I want to end our suffering in a beautiful, hopeful, tangible way. And it's so freaking easy and simple. All you have to do is change your thoughts. Change the way you feel about yourself. Change the way you talk to yourself. Change the way you talk about others to yourself. Be hopeful. Not with expectations. Be hopeful. Yourself and others. If you're striving to be physically fit, oh, I lost my train of thought on that actually. Physically fit thing. That wasn't even this paper. That was this other paper. I gotta get back to this in a minute. I'm kind of scatterbrained sometimes. It's okay though. What was I just saying? Let me think a minute. Uh, okay, if you're wanting to get physically fit, and I think I even have this wrote down somewhere in all these notes. If you're trying to eat healthier to be physically fit. And your mom makes brownies. And you really want one of them damn brownies. Go eat that brownie. And don't eat it with guilt. Don't eat it with guilt. Okay? That's the only reason you shouldn't eat the brownie, is if you cannot do it without feeling guilty. Because thought matters. Emotion matters. So the way you feel about that brownie matters. That's what matters. If you feel guilty for eating that brownie, if you feel bad about cheating on your diet, if that's the way you look at it, like you're cheating, you've already sealed your fate. Next time you weigh yourself on those scales, you're going to say, yep, see, I should have never ate that brownie. Wrong. You should have never thought the way you thought about that brownie. Now, Spirit just told me to remember to say this out loud. No, I do not mean that you should go around doing drugs, being a drunk, whatever, and if it doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter to your body. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Because let me tell you what, those people that are doing those drugs, those people that are getting drunk, they're already talking badly about themselves or something in their world. Because if their world was good, they wouldn't need the drugs. They wouldn't need the drink. Okay? So I don't want no ridiculous comments or accusations or anything from anyone on this. Everybody needs to use their common sense here and really clearly understand this. Drinking and drugs are self-harm. Okay? That's self-harm. Yes, if you're eating the whole freaking pan of brownies, that too could be self-harm. But if you're trying to do right, be healthy, and you really want that hamburger, or you really want that brownie, or you really want whatever, give yourself permission to have it. And enjoy it. Enjoy every damn bite of it. And I promise you, if you eat it with gratitude, if you eat it with joy, it's not going to negatively affect your body. It's not. Because it's in moderation. You're allowing yourself that treat. You deserve a treat. If you've been eating salad all week long every day for lunch, you deserve that damn brownie. Let's face it, you do. You do. Or that slice of pizza, or whatever it is that you really want. A taco. Who the hell knows? You know, get your crave on. Give yourself, you know, that one snack or one day that you set aside to just eating things that you enjoy without guilt, right? Because we call, like, perfect, this, thank you, Spirit, guilty pleasures. We call them guilty pleasures. That's not okay. That's not good talk. We say it with a smile, guilty pleasures. But the word guilty, that's that emotion. That's that thought that I've done something bad. Remove the word guilty and just say pleasure. Allow yourself to have those pleasures. We were put on this planet in this physical form, in these bodies, to enjoy the riches, enjoy the pleasures that this planet and that physical matter that we've created, yes, we have created, We were meant to enjoy it. Now you can say, oh, well, God created that. No, what God created is the natural stuff that's outside. All the stuff inside my house, that's man-made. Let's think about those words again. Let's bring it back home to what we're talking about here. Words matter. That beautiful furniture set behind me, that's man-made. Man created that. Created it in his thought first, and then in his desire, and then on paper, and then to the machine, or got the tools out and did it by hand, whatever. Man-made. Man created the things that we have, that we enjoy. Those brownies, God didn't give you them brownies. God gave you the ability to create something that we call brownies. And then God gave us the ability to create machines to mass produce boxes of brownies so that people like me don't have to do it in the kitchen from scratch if we don't want to. Man-made. Man creates. We create things all the time. I'm creating a video. I'm creating lessons. I also created children. I create things all the time. Every time I cook, I'm creating a meal. And I'm putting my love into that meal, which is an alchemical process of blessing that food so that it's healthy for the people that are eating it. Thought matters. Energy matters. Words matter. So let's talk about some words. We have tons of housing now. Side-by-side housing. A lot of cookie-cutter homes all look alike. We divide it up. We divide people up into these subdivisions, right? We're substituting. We're dividing people into smaller little categories that all look the same. It's kind of like we're in the, we're all just the same. No expression, no individuality, no uniqueness. We're just all the same. We're subdivided. We're categorized. Ignorance is another one. Ignore. Ignorance is when you are ignoring knowledge, ignoring wisdom. Words matter because the word matter is physical, right? Physical things, physical matter. Words are vibration. In the Bible it says, God's word created. Because words have power. Words create. Words have energy of emotion in them that can create or affect in negative ways as well. So words are the alpha and the omega in a sense because they can create and they can destroy. There's lots of old sayings. Be careful what you wish for. You let the cat out of the bag, or you let the genie out of the bottle. What's that mean, really? It means that you released or you freed or you spoke of another soul, a truth of another soul. Genies back in the day, and some people still to this day, conjure them, call them into them, and then, cork them up into a little bottle, a vessel that is their tether so that they can control them. When we have secrets, we hold those secrets in a bag to control them, right? So letting the cat out of the bag, you're letting the secrets out. You're letting the truths out. Um, brother's keeper. Let's go beyond the normal limits for siblings uh, with this bond. In the olden days, when we were told you are your brother's keeper, that also meant your neighbor. You know, you're supposed to care for your neighbors, care for your community, look out for each other. Um, so words matter, sayings matter. Seems like I have more words somewhere. I do have a lot of sayings, so I think I'll just go through them. Your conscience is the measure of the honesty of your selfishness. So listen carefully. Let me say that again. Your conscience is the measure of the honesty of your selfishness. Listen carefully. Learning is finding out what you already know because all of the answers are within your DNA memory. Doing is demonstrating that you know it. That's being active and demonstrating and giving back. And teaching is reminding others that they know just as well as you. Because we are all learners, doers, and teachers, regardless of our age. Here's another good parable. I like to call these parables that I channeled and learned. Your only obligation in any lifetime is to be true to yourself. Being true to anyone else or anything else is not only impossible, but the mark of a fake. You teach best what you most need to learn. This is one of my favorite ones because I teach self-love and the true deep meaning of what that is. And I learned that very intricately in order to be able to teach it to you. I had many paths, many roads to travel, to experience, and to learn from. To first learn it for myself, and then to be able to teach it to you and to do it well. Live never to be ashamed, so that. Okay, hold on. Let me back up because I sort of wrote on top of some other stuff. I must have been writing this in my sleep. Live never to be ashamed of anything you say or do, so that if it is published around the world, so that even if it is published around the world, if what is published is not true. We're going to come back to that one because I can't even wrap my mind around what I just said. I know what I mean there, but I don't think I read it right. The gist of it is to not be ashamed of anything that you do so that if it does get published anywhere, you're not embarrassed of it, you're proud. That's the gist of it. But I don't know why all this bubbled up garbage is here. Moving right along. Be careful what you wish for. Ask and you shall receive. If you wish enough, it will be yours. It is not selfish to ask for joy in specific ways. All have the power within them to really control the wants and desires of their own life, but you must be able to put the negative doubt aside in order for the universe to answer your call appropriately. Intent follows the will of action, which follows the true wish of the heart, but only through correct action of walking in the faith and the knowing that it will happen is how it shall occur. We are all vessels for and of God. He works through us, but only after we surrender the doubt and allow it to be so. Zero doubt. So, yes, I mean, I say to you, we are creators. And we are. Because God is our father, or whatever you want to look at it, mother, whatever. I don't care. I don't need to dicker with it. It's yours personally. It's your truth. So, we have a creator that created us. Hello. That naturally means we are like our parent, our creator, right? So that means we can create too. And so, yes, I'm a creator and I can do great works just as Jesus did. And so can you. Do I take all the glory for myself? No, no way. Of course I give that to our creator, because if our creator wasn't so magnificent, I wouldn't be either. You know, no different than if my earthly mother and father had not have hooked up and got together at the right moment in the right time, in 1971-ish, I wouldn't have been here in July of 1972. So, and I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't look the way I do. I wouldn't act the way that I do. I wouldn't have had the lessons I had to learn. It was all because of them. So, of course, I give them the credit for who I am now to a certain extent, but also to a certain extent, I did that shit myself, right? I did that myself. I did the work to become who I fully am now. So, God's our creator. He gets us going, and then we have to do the work. And we have to surrender, much like the baptism symbolism, right? When you're baptized, you're falling backwards, you're trusting that these people are going to dip you in that water, not drown your ass. You're giving up your control, your willpower there, everything. You're just totally surrendering, giving it to God, giving it to these people that are holding you, and hoping for the best. That's the whole meaning of that baptism, is to surrender to this flow, surrender to this energy, surrender to the God within you, the great works that Jesus told you could do, right? The great works that Jesus told you could do. The world is your exercise book, the pages on which you do your sums. It is not reality. It is not reality, although you could express reality there if you wish. You're also free to write nonsense, lies, or to tear the pages. People decide their rights and wrongs. But it's built into you. You already have some moral compass within you. So if you're doing things that are wrong, if you're doing things that are bad, if you're doing things that harm others, and you're lying to yourself and you're saying, well, it's okay because I want to do this and I want to do that. It's all right for me to say those mean things to those people and be that nasty way. And what if you're doing all that, you're lying to yourself, right? Like, you're not being honest with yourself that you're doing wrong. You're not. You're just flat not. Now, can you do that? Sure. God gave you free will. Of course you can do that. You're doing it now, right? Or you've done it in the past. Or somebody you know is doing it. Of course you can do it. Of course you can. There's no right or wrong there. Except that by you choosing to do that, you're not only hurting other people, you're hurting your own soul. You're hurting your own growth. And you're affecting your judgment scales for your flash before your eyes, end of life, balance it out stuff. you know? So it's on your conscience, right? It's on your conscience. And yes, you absolutely could go through life just treating people like shit. And maybe they let you get by with it. But at the end of this lifespan, this lifetime, I would be willing to bet that your soul is going to have to really learn some more hard lessons before it's allowed to evolve. And it's going to be because your conscience deemed it so. Because that's how it works. We are our own worst enemy, and we are our toughest judge. And there's a reason for that. It's a failsafe. It's a catch-22 failsafe for you to learn from. Moving on. The original sin is to limit the maker. So don't. And what that means is that if you limit yourself, if you put limits on your ability and your gifts, then you're limiting God. Because if God is in you and you say, well, but I can't raise the dead, I can't heal the sick, I can't feed the poor, I'm just one person. God is in you, and God works miracles daily through all of the people who do not limit the potential within them that is Him. Let Him work through you, and don't limit yourself or His great work. If you practice being fictional for a while, you will find and understand that fictional characters are sometimes more real than people with bodies and heartbeats. This is a quirky one. When I wrote this down, when I channeled this one really kind of had me stumped. It was quite quirky for me for a while. But here's the interesting thing about this. When we talk to ourselves negatively, when we have a vision of what we look like, who we are to the outside world in a certain way, whatever way that is, it affects how people treat us, you know, the respect, the love, um, the kindness, the meanness, like whatever. It we've already set the stage. Okay? We've already set the stage for how this play that we call life will play out with how we see ourselves. So in your mind, and nobody ever really is viewing you the way you see yourself, because we are our own worst enemy and most critical judge. So other people can look at us and say, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you're smart, you're strong, you're yada yada, whatever. And you're just like, God, I wish I could see me through your eyes. I don't know how many times I have heard someone say that to me. They wish they could see their self through my eyes. I'm going to try to teach you how to see yourself through my eyes. Love yourself. Change that perspective. Change that self-image that you have to I am worthy, I am enough, and I am proud. And I accept me the way I am. And if you don't accept you the way you are, fix what needs to be fixed so that you can. Whatever that means to you. Because every single person on this planet has at least one person But usually more than that, you just don't realize there's so many more. At least one person that sees you with such potential and such beauty and such stature that you can't even fathom yourself because you're looking at you down here. So create in your mind that fictional character of who you would really like to be, who you'd really like to see yourself as, and focus on that. Every single time you start to speak down to yourself, focus on that mental image that you have of who you would be if you were this little fictional character, right? Whether it's a superhero or somebody out of a movie or whatever, I don't care. Whoever you would really be, like, so excited and happy and proud to be. Whoever you see yourself as in that fictional mentality state. I want you to think about that and think about empowering yourself with that excitement, that emotion, that way of viewing yourself. That, okay, yeah, I do have qualities like Superman, even though I really look more like Clark Kent. You know? Like, yeah, I wear the glasses and I look like the nerd, but I got a buff body. Like, look at your props that you have. Give yourself props, even though if you're hiding them under layers of clothes or, you know, veils. We have so many veils, masks that we put on to block and shield and protect ourselves and not let people in to see who we really are. You know, move those things out of your way and start peeking out, right? Because this play that you're in, you're the star of the show. You're just not looking at yourself like you're the star. You're looking at yourself like you're, somebody over here doing the props on the side. You're like stage prop guy or, backup dancer girl or whatever. Don't see yourself over there. See yourself in center stage with the spotlight on you because that's who you are in your play, in your story, your book called life. We all have a play, playing at once, simultaneously. And if we could all see ourselves through that fictional character we would like to be and be proud of us and love us and speak nicely of ourselves, be kind to ourselves, be gentle with ourselves, be patient with ourselves, be forgiving of our mistakes and our stumbling, then we become the star. We steal the show. And that's what you really want. You want to be that famous person in your own little play, right? So be it. Be that person. Nobody's stopping you but you. Don't limit yourself. We are all free. We are free to choose to do whatever we want to do. We forget that we have a choice, even when bad things happen. We always have a choice. We have a choice in how we react to it. We have a choice in the acceptance of it, depending on the various levels of what it could be. And I'm just going to use an example here. Driving down the road, it's dark, only person on the road, and a deer comes out and it's in front of your vehicle. Do you decide that it's too late, you're going to hit the deer? Do you swerve and lose control of your vehicle? Or do you really sit in your power, in your avatar, your physical form, and say, I control this play, and I'm not hitting that deer. My car is protected. I am protected. The deer is protected. And this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. And if you do that, zero doubt, It won't happen. I can assure you. I literally just went through this last weekend. Control your thoughts. And remember that you're in control of all thoughts and all choices that are going on. And you are choosing all the time, whether you're conscious of it or not. So become more conscious, become more aware of your thoughts. When you walk through your life on autopilot, where you're just going through the motions, you basically have given up your choice of free will, and you've given permission for other souls and entities to attach to you, steal your vessel from you, mind control you, manipulate you, sabotage you. So if you want to be in control of your soul and your life, stop hitting the easy buttons. Stop walking around here on autopilot, lost in your head, lost in la la land. Get yourself grounded and be firm and centered in being you. Become very conscious of the fact that you are like this little mech warrior sitting up here inside these cockpit windows, controlling this avatar, right? This biological robot, if you will, that we call the body. Become aware of that. Because when you become aware of that, you really can change the world. You'll start with your own world, and then it'll spread out. The ripple effect will continue to the whole world, because you're going to affect the people in your own 6 degrees, in your own little world, and they're going to learn. And then they're going to teach others, and they're going to learn. They're going to learn. They're going to learn. And you're going to broaden what you know. It's going to ripple effect out bigger. And before you know it, the whole world is affected by you changing who you are and you becoming consciously aware of the power that is within you for all things. Every person and all the events of your life are there because you have drawn them there. And I know there's a lot of people that are not going to like that I said that. But what you choose to do with them is up to you as well. You can always recreate yourself. You can always change the course or the path that you are on at any given time in your life. No, you can't bring back people you've already lost. And Spirit is constantly reminding me that there are people listening to me that are suffering from loss. You cannot change that. No. But you can change how you feel about it. And that does not give disrespect to the people that have passed away. Give yourself permission to live again. Give yourself permission to love again and to enjoy life and to feel joy. And when you think about those people that you've lost, think about the happy things and smile. Don't think about the bad things and be sad. Think about the happy things. Focus on the positive. Memories are given to us for a reason. Utilize them. Appreciate them. Be grateful for them. Don't allow them to be your detriment. And I know this personally, so I'm not saying this from like a cold-hearted point of view, I promise. We decide our own fate. If we are fearful of things to come, fear will bring those things. If we are sure of our choices, we are sure of our outcome. It's really that simple. Thought matters a lot. Thought and emotion is everything. It's the key. I'm trying to give you the key to unlock all of it. Thoughts matter a lot. They determine where we will be. They've determined where we've gone. And they will determine where we are going. Literally. The truth you speak has no past, and it has no future. It's only in the now. It just is. And that is all it needs to be. Your truth. Next one. Here's a test to see whether your mission on earth is finished. If you're still alive, it isn't. Enough said there. In order to live free and happily, you must sacrifice boredom. It is not always an easy sacrifice to do. Don't be dismayed by goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before you can meet again. And meeting again after moments of lifetimes is certain for those who are friends, those who are soul family, and those that have bonds of love on some level. The mark of your ignorance is in the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy. What the caterpillar sees as the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. And I have more to add to this actually, because the caterpillar is actually very consciously aware of the transformation into the butterfly. That is now scientifically proven. Much like as we go through our own death and rebirth, resurrection, phoenix scenarios in our life, as we learn and grow and shed old skin and become new, we are very consciously aware of the shedding, the changing, the evolving, and becoming something else. We're very aware of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't necessarily be happening now, would it? Thought is power, and thought is faster than the speed of light. When desire is strong enough and we can visualize its materialism and want it enough to ask, it will be so. So long as we have faith that it will be. It's not about willing it to happen. It's about having faith. You have to believe it with zero doubt. And it's necessary to do uh, positive thinking in all ways concerning it anytime it pops into your mind again. Once you've had a desire and you have seen what it would look like to have it, and you have felt what it would feel like to have it, and then you let it go with the knowing that it will be, that God will deliver it, the universe is listening, that you're going to get this, you're going to get this, then you let it go. And you move on, you keep going, and you wait for it, and you trust that it's going to happen, you know. Anytime you think of this again, do not think, oh, it hasn't happened yet, it must not, I'm not going to get it, right? Don't do those negative thoughts. Don't do any of that. Push them out of your head when they happen. Push them out and say, no, I'm going to change that way of thinking with it might not be here yet. And just because what I see in front of me isn't the change I was wanting to see yet, doesn't mean it isn't coming, because yet is the key word. Have faith in that yet to come. Okay? We make our own fate, and we are our own judge. So we create our own punishments with the deeds that we do and the guilt that we feel from within for doing so. Forgive yourself for things that you didn't choose and you should have. Forgive yourself for not knowing better, and now you do, so now you can make better choices. Forgive others in the same aspect and from the same perspective. People make bad decisions. People make bad choices. People sometimes do bad things. to each other, to harm each other. If we all understand from a higher perspective that we're all learning and we're all growing and that we all do it at a different pace, then you can find some type of compassion to forgive them for what they've done, not have hate in your heart or anger or uh, regret for being around them or any of those things. Uh, be able to forgive them for the capacity of your own heart's heaviness being lifted, and the compassionate understanding that they too shall learn in their own time, and they too shall have their own karma and judgments and fate for their choices in their own time. Okay? So we can't have anger in our heart for things that people have done. We can't hold against ourselves either things that we've done, because it's all a learning process. Okay, so I'm going to end that there. And next video I'm going to read some of the excerpts um, from my journal that actually went into my book. But real quick, I wanted to get back to the physically fit. The whole point of bringing up being physically fit at the beginning of the video. Being strong in your body is not just a healthy thing. Okay, that's what I started out saying. It's not just for health benefits. It's for your mind. Being strong in the body enables being strong in the mind and the soul. It's a mind, body, spirit connection, the Trinity. Being strong in the body enables being strong in the mind and the spirit. It automatically boosts your opinion of self. It automatically boosts your level of love for self, your confidence in self, your image of self, all of it. So if there's anything inside of you that says, I don't like whatever on the outside, figure out how to love it or figure out how to change it. Okay? One or the other. Love it or change it. Okay. Yeah, if you've got a big nose, maybe you can't afford to get plastic surgery or whatever and have your nose smaller. Fine, whatever. I can't afford plastic surgery. I think I have a big nose. I love it. It's part of my character, right? It's part of who I am. I have a double chin. Part of my heritage. Everybody that knows me says, oh, you have a money chin. Because I come from people that's their last name, Money. And they all have double or triple chins. I mean, they all look alike, right? They all kind of look alike. We're all a good looking bunch of people. But people that know us, they all say the same thing. You must be a Money. Because you got that chin. Okay, fine. I used to hate my double chin. Now I love it. I'm proud of it. It connects me to my people. So, things that you just absolutely cannot change and you don't love about yourself, your perspective needs to change. Find a reason, find a way to love it, to accept it, to embrace it. Because you deserve that. Don't you? Don't you deserve to love yourself? Don't you feel like you deserve to be loved? Don't you feel like you wish somebody would love you? You have to love yourself before somebody else can really love you. Because even if they do really love you for you just the way you are, you can't see it and you can't let their love in if you don't feel it for you. You know? Like, that's actually been an issue for me in relationships, which really blows my mind because it took me a long time to love myself, right? And then there's these other people, but this helped me to learn from a whole different perspective, right? There would be these other people in my life. They would look at me and they would say, "Oh, but you're so pretty," or "Oh, you're so thin," or you're whatever, you know? And they're looking at me like I'm more than them. Like when they look at me to be in a relationship, they're judging, are they worthy of someone who looks like me, or who's as smart as me, or who's as spiritual as me? They're judging, they're gauging that, right? They're not seeing their self as worthy. They're not loving their self. So I can look at them, you know, accept them completely, perfections, flaws, and all, and see the beauty in them, the depth in them, total acceptance. But there's a block there, there's a shield, there's a wall, there's a veil, there's a defense that's in them that doesn't let me in, doesn't let me love them for the way that I see them with my eyes. And it's because they're viewing me and comparing me in their own eyes and in their own self love. So it's a tragic scenario of insecurities and lack of self love within all of us, which is really how, the twin flame thing really comes down because you're mirroring each other. And, them mirrors can be polar opposite mirrors, or they can be those, how do you say that word? I've just lost my whole. I saw that clock flip to a different thing back there and it took my attention with it. Butterfly. Parallels, right? Like you're in a parallel universe, looking at each other in the mirror. That kind of a reflection, or this kind of polar opposite reflection, is a twin flame thing. There's a lot to learn from twin flame relationships if you're philosophical enough and deep enough to dissect it and really look at it. So, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Lots of things to think about. I think I'm probably just gonna title this philosophical rambling, maybe. I don't know. Because again, I would have preferred it to be organized and nice and neat in a little, course by course package type scenario, but I don't know. I think you can dig it. I think you can keep up with it, just being random, this thought, that thought, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing. And hopefully y'all like it and you keep up with me and we all learn and grow together and make the world a better place. That's the end game goal, right? Love yourself. That's where it starts. That's where it starts and that's where it's going to end. Love yourself. Be true to you. Be good to you. And until we see each other again, be well. Be blessed. In love and light. Be sure to like and share the videos to help the channel out too if this resonated with you. I greatly appreciate it. Okay. More morning talks to wake up with Kelly coming at you.